Hello again, dear Groaners, and welcome along to episode 66 of the Groan Zone, the place for all things Groany. Another week where we dive into the world of the Groans, which we've created, and play some games, and we'll do some other stuff along the way. I'm going to kick the show off with a big size 12 here, into Groanland with my trio of groans. Here they are. The weather. So you watched the weather forecast, you looked online, you watched TV, you've read about it and everything else. No chance of rain. You go outside and the rain comes in. Why, in 2024, can we not tell when a rain cloud is gonna wet itself? Really? Fake news. So you've read the title of an article, something like, Walkers gets rid of popular flavour of crisp. You click on it, only to find it is one of the more obscure flavours, like Marmite, not one of the big, massive ones. Please, media outlets, use more context in your article titles, and please, I know before COVID you were good, but after COVID, proofread your documents and your spell check. Yeah, know what I mean? Last one, being served dairy. So you order a pudding, and you ask for no cream. They then bring you your order with cream on. Why do people do this? Do they think I made a mistake or secretly love cream? I don't. Let me make it clear, I hate dairy foods on the whole, apart from egg and egg fried rice, yet hating egg. That's another weird thing. So why would I want something, in my opinion, that would ruin my pudding? It's not being fussy if you don't like something. If texture's not right, I'm not gonna eat it, am I? Now, straight on from emptying my groan bag for this week, we're gonna dive straight down into the first game, which is a 5-point countdown. Are you ready, Groaners? Play along live. I hear them typing. Yep, they're all ready, I do believe. Yep, they are. If you're listening after the recording, obviously you're ready because you're listening along, waiting for me to shut up. So here we go. You all know this game by now, but newbies may not. Are you gonna hold at points you have, or are you gonna change your answer when I give another clue? If you change answer and you're wrong, but your previous answer was right, you get nothing until you change back again to the right answer. But you won't know that until you get the right answer. We'll start at 5 points, we'll go all the way down to 1. Here we go. Clue number 5, worth 5 points. I travel through the air and am used for communication amongst other things. That clue one more time. Clue number 5 for 5 points. I travel through the air and am used for communication amongst other things. What you got, Groaners? Give me your answers. Microwaves, that's a good guess. Any more? Pigeon. Okay. Was not expecting that one, but okay, yeah, I get where you're coming from, Groaner, I get it. Clue number 4 for 4 points. You don't just have to be at home or the office to use me. Number 4 for 4 points. You don't just have to be at home or the office to use me. Fire them in, Groaners. Give me your answers. Then after the fact, here's where you pause, you answer, you unpause. Any more answers, Groaners? Anybody coming in with something? Oh, we're typing. What we got, Groaners? What we got? You're sticking with microwave. Okay, microwaves. Okay. Any further answers? Any more advances? Got a little bit of time before I go on to the next round. Any more? Okay. Clue number 3 for 3 points. I can be slow or fast depending on your country. Number 3 worth 3 points. I can be slow or fast depending on your country. Pause, answer, unpause. The answer after the recording. Play along live. I want those answers, Groaners. What do you have? So far we've had microwaves and pigeon. Any more advances on those? Any more? I think I've stumped the audience. Play along live. I think I've got them here. Okay, a little bit more time, Groaners, if you're thinking about it. Clue number 2 for 2 points. I can be wired or wireless. That's clue number 2 for 2 points. I can be wired or wireless. Pause, answer, unpause if you're playing along after the fact. If you're playing along live now, here's where you give me your answers, Groaners. What do you have? Oh, now we're getting some more answers now that I've got down to clue number 2. Radio waves? Really, really good guess. A really good one. Any more, Groaners? You've only got one more clue. Throw an answer in. You never know, you might be right. Throw it in. I'm gonna have to cut you off in a second, Groaners. Okay. Clue number 1, the last clue, worth 1 point. A lot of companies offer a version of me for business or personal use. That's clue number 1, worth 1 point. A lot of companies offer a version of me for business or personal use. Playing along after the fact, pause, answer, unpause. Playing along live, give me your answers, Groaners. Let me feel the fibre of your fabric. Come on. What do you have, Groan crew? What you got? Just waiting for the typing to finish. When Groaners are typing here, what do they have? Phone/radio waves. I can see what you're doing there. Alright, okay. Groaners, you'll find out later on if you got some points at over the course of that game. Where? Well, only I know that. You're going to find out later. And now we kick? Where the hell did that come from? We kick in that creepy high gear for Admin Nicole's Creepy Corner. This week's story is called The Souls of the Unborn. Viola had a lot on her mind. A lot of decisions to make and also a lot to figure out. She met Valencia in the abandoned factory where they stored all the teeth. The guards, who were golems designed to protect the factory, kept out of the way as they usually did and just acted like they weren't there, locking themselves in the vault and shutting everything down in an emergency once all the souls had been moved. Aside from that, they just stand there and guard all day every day. Viola knew deep down that while Valencia hadn't mastered everything, she had learned enough to be okay on her own. She could be free and release herself now. Once a Tooth Fairy finds a replacement, they have 2 options. They can keep their powers and choose to live amongst demons forever in their realm, or give up all their powers and memories and live out the rest of their lives somewhere else as humans. The sands of time would restart from the age that they stopped growing. She could be human and finally fulfill her mother's dying wish. Although she had been thinking about a lot lately, she could survive as she was now. Did she really need to give up the life she had now gotten used to? A part of her wanted to stay, but she didn't know if she could. That was another day's problem though, as they approached a large set of doors with many guards surrounding it. The guards parted ways to let them through, and Valencia looked around in shock at the garden with its rivers and butterflies. It was like being outside, and yet they were still very much underneath the town. Viola pointed out the small white jellyfish that were floating around. This was the nursery. It existed out of time in a way. Anyone that walked in would still be affected by time, but these were the souls of the unborn. Their hourglass had yet to turn. An hourglass can't begin moving until the soul is in its body after all. The Tooth Fairy was not just in charge of teeth, but they were also the caretaker of unborn souls. Souls waiting for their chance to live. The job was simple enough, just making sure nothing breaks down and watching over them until it was their time to live. Viola pointed out a machine at the back of the garden. It had a vortex inside it that felt similar to the darkness that lived in the basement. But Viola told her it was nothing to worry about. The souls would pass through there once their body was ready, and it would take them wherever they needed to go. Colour was very important though. Souls sometimes changed colour right before passing through. Most would stay white to resemble a pure soul or a blank slate. Not all souls gain a personality before their body is ready after all. A purple soul meant they would have a life of endless suffering. It was a shame, but they let them pass too. Talia herself was a purple soul after all, so explained a lot given what happened to her. A red soul, however, must never be allowed to pass. They were to be captured and locked up until they turned white again and given another chance. A red soul was filled with endless hatred and despair, and giving that soul a body meant they would grow up to destroy countless lives. Viola then showed Valencia the Hall of Windows. She explained how she was told that every major event that happens within the nursery instantly gets transferred into stained glass in this very hall. Talia was one of those events. A purple soul became the little girl who didn't have to wait long for disaster to strike her. The moment she found out the truth because of the dollhouse was marked on there too, but oddly enough a section of her window was painted over with black paint. Something someone didn't want to be known. Then Viola showed Valencia the unfinished window, one that even with the Tooth Fairy before her had been afraid of. It only shows the start, a soul passing through to gain its body. The Tooth Fairy before Viola tried so hard to stop it, but the soul itself started wailing and almost destroyed the nursery and all the souls in it. It was a black and white soul, a soul unlike any other, with the capabilities of being both pure and evil. The old man even tried to help, but he has yet to find any information on a person that would fit. Apparently this all happened almost 18 years ago. Ironically, the very same day that Valencia was born. A detail that had passed Viola until this very moment. As the very thought of the times matching up struck her, Viola was suddenly overcome by tremendous pain and passed out, until she was awoken by Groaners himself. Hey, Nicole, I'm looking forward to the next installment. Who else is loving these stories? Come on, show your love in the feedback. Who is loving Creepy Corner? I am loving the stories Nicole comes out with. But now, can you smell unluckiness, Groaners? I know I do. I smell unluckiness in the form of, oh, unlucky! These poor guys. These poor guys. So a group of workmen fell over after heaving in a tug of war in a battle with a manhole. Yep, you heard me right, Groaners. The 5-man team pulled and heaved until the rope snapped, sending each of them off into different directions. When the rope snapped, one of the men was sent flying into a bush, while another landed on his face in the gravel. But all appeared unharmed after the battle. This was all caught on a Ring doorbell video cam. I've got a big smile on my face as I can just imagine it and picture this happening. Do you feel lucky now, Groaners? As it's time for yet another game in the form of Double Down Dummies. If you're new to this one, don't worry. You get 2 stories, 3 outcomes, but only one outcome is the real outcome, which led to the death or the near death of the victim. But not all these are Darwins. Some can be strange or odd or mysterious, and we play this game with no offense meant to the dead at all, okay? Even though some of their deaths might be funny, some of them might be very serious, no offense is meant by playing this. But here we go. Round number 1. Alan Pinkerton, the person who founded the Chicago Pinkerton Detective Agency, died on July the 1st, 1884 after falling down on the pavement. But how did falling down on the pavement lead to his death? Was it outcome A, he had been shot, didn't realise and bled out after falling? Was it outcome B, he actually slipped and fell and severely bit down on his own tongue, which led to gangrene? Or was it outcome C, he fell face first and his cause of death was a skull fracture? Go Groaners, give me your answers. After the fact, here's where you pause, have a think about it and give me your answer. Oh, the A's are flying in there. A's flying in. Any more Groaners? Are we all going for A? Oh, C's flying in now. Oh, and a couple of B's. We have an across the border Groaners. Okay. Moving straight on, we're going right in to round number 2. A man by the name, and I apologise to his family if I mispronounce his name, Kenji Orada worked at a plant situated in Tokyo that was operated by 50 robots. He was working on a malfunctioning robot, but how did this lead to his death? Was it outcome A? He slipped and landed on a conveyor belt that unfortunately he couldn't get off quick enough and couldn't be stopped quick enough, and he was killed in a pressing machine. Was it outcome B? The robot he was working on spun suddenly as it wasn't fully off and actually broke Kenji's neck. He died at the scene. Or lastly, was it outcome C? The not fully off robot pushed Kenji into a grinding machine with its hydraulic arm. He was unable to be saved. Go Groaners, give me your answers. Then after the fact, you pause your answer, unpause. Ooh, A's flying in again. Any more Groaners? We've got any more on A's? C's, same as the previous round. Another split. Any more Groaners coming in? Any more? No more? Okay, we have a split. A's and C's coming in from Groaners playing along live. But you, listening along at home there, dear Groaner, what have you thrown in? Are you going for A, or B, or C? And have you got it right? You'll find out later. Did you get points, or didn't you? But speaking of audience, speaking of your greedy Groaners out there, once again, it's a turn of one of you in the form of the audience groan. This week's is from, and I've been dreading to pronounce it, so I'm sorry if I get it wrong, T. Barbecue. I really hope I got that right. And they are from Belgium, and they groan in via the show email. And they say, someone that wastes my time asked me to do something that isn't easy, so I spend a long time doing it, and then they say, oh yeah, I didn't need that anymore. Oh, God, that is really frustrating. Been there, done that. You have my sympathies, T. You have my sympathies. So, T emailed in on the groanzonepod@gmail.com, but you can do the same for your groans, your unlucky stories, your hero or zero of the week nominations, and of course your feedback. But those aren't the only ways, Groaners. You can join us on Discord, live, every Friday at 8:30 Greenwich Mean Time to throw your groans in live. Or you can simply drop us a message on Discord and we'll pick your groan up. You can join us on Facebook groups at the Groan Zone Facebook group. You can also verbally, if you know either admin Nicole or myself in person, you can drop us a verbal groan. And lastly, if you know either of us on Facebook, you can drop us a private message on Facebook Messenger under Mystery Groaner and of course under admin Nicole's username on Facebook. But now, what's that I detect? I see a foreshadowing zero of the week. Here it comes. So this one is a double up, and I apologise if I upset anybody. If you have ever stolen someone's package or hidden it from them and not told them, you are low. But at the same time, if you are home and some company drops off a package, go and pick it up. Those of you who leave stuff laying out in the open for hours and hours and hours and hours at a time, or even overnight, you encourage porch piracy, which is big in the USA. If you don't know what porch piracy is, it's when they come along and nick your package. Go and pick up your item from your front doorstep, or get it dropped off at a secure location if you can, or post office if you can, and then pick it up from there if you know you're not going to be home. Delivery drivers can only do so much. Both equally daft for different reasons. Double zeros, everyone. Before we leave you for another week though, dear Groaners, we have the game answers. The 5-point countdown. Those who gave your answers live, I'm sorry, you're wrong. I did laugh at the pigeon answer, so thanks to Groaner that gave that one out. The correct answer, I would have accepted any one of these. Data packages, or Wi-Fi, or 4G, or 5G. Now moving on. If you played last week's game, even if you didn't write a comment down or anything, if you played What the Hell Am I For?, the correct answer, and I don't believe this was invented, but hey, Japanese come up with all sorts of crazy stuff. Air conditioning for your feet is what the gadget was. air conditioning for your feet. Yeah, I'm a bit baffled by that as well. Double Down Dummies will refresh each story and then give the answer. Round 1. Alan Pinkerton, the person who founded the Chicago Pinkerton Detective Agency, died on the July the 1st, 1884 after falling down on the pavement. How did this lead to his death? The correct outcome was outcome B. He actually slipped and fell and severely bit down on his own tongue, which led to gangrene. Talk about ouch and unfortunate. That could have been an 0-1 lucky. Damn. Next round answer, here we go. Round 2. A man by the name of Kenji Urada worked at a plant situated in Tokyo that was operated by 50 robots. He was working on a malfunctioning robot, but how did this lead to his death? The correct outcome was outcome C. The not fully off robot pushed Kenji in a grinding machine with its hydraulic arm. He was unable to be saved. And it should be noted that Kenji is known as one of the first ever people to be killed by a robot. Because of course Isaac Asimov's law states that no robot should ever harm a human, and yet here we are, prime example there of a robot harming a human. Hope we scored points, Groaners. All play along live, or they'll play along after the fact. Oop, got a comment. Microwaves are widely used for point-to-point communication. Okay, thank you, Groaner. I actually didn't know that, but thanks a lot. You had a good guess there. You did have a good guess, but when I was writing out this game, I didn't think of that, but thank you very much. So, hope we scored points, Groaners. Another chance for more points now with admin Nicole's Anagram Anxiety, which is our after-show game. If you want to play along, you can do it on Discord. You can throw it in the comments section under each episode, or you can fire it off into the Facebook group, which will also be there as well. And the anagram is Frothy orangeade. That isn't the answer, that's the anagram itself. Frothy orangeade. Good luck, because I'm hopeless at these, even with a clue. But I'm sure she'll give us a clue later in the week. Drop your answers in by comment section or the usual channels as I've already stated. On that note, Groaners, goodbye for another week. Tune in next week for more Groany goodness. Bye bye.